Rising costs are affecting everyone right now, and landlords are no exception. Property taxes have increased, insurance premiums have climbed significantly, maintenance and repair costs are higher, and utilities continue to fluctuate. At some point, most rental property owners begin asking the same question: how do I increase rent legally in Alberta without losing a good tenant? Let's start with the legal foundation. Alberta does not have rent control. That means there is no legislated cap on how much rent can be increased. However, and this is important, there are very specific rules around timing and notice that must be followed under the Residential Tenancies Act. If you have a periodic tenancy, such as a month-to-month agreement, you must provide at least 3 full tenancy months of written notice before the rent increase takes effect. It has to be in writing, and the timing must be calculated properly. If notice is served incorrectly or too late, the increase may not be valid. If you have a fixed-term lease, rent generally cannot be increased during the lease term unless the agreement specifically allows for it. In most situations, any rent adjustment would happen when the lease renews. There's also another key rule many landlords overlook. Rent can only be increased once every 12 months for the same tenant. Even if a lease renews earlier than 12 months, that 1-year rule still applies. Trying to increase rent before that 12-month period can create compliance issues and potential disputes. So legally speaking, those are the guardrails. Now, let's talk about the part that really determines your long-term profitability strategy. Just because you can raise the rent to match top-of-market rates doesn't automatically mean you should. A significant rent increase may be legally allowed, but it can result in vacancy, turnover costs, advertising expenses, cleaning, repairs, and sometimes damage during move-out. Vacancy is expensive. Even one vacant month can offset a large portion of the increase you were hoping to achieve. Sometimes, a moderate and well-timed rent adjustment that keeps a reliable tenant in place is more profitable long-term than pushing aggressively for the highest possible rent and facing turnover. You also want to look at your specific market conditions. Are comparable properties in your area renting quickly? Or are they sitting vacant with incentives? In smaller or rural markets especially, overpricing can lead to extended vacancy. Another factor to consider is tenant quality. If you have a tenant who pays on time, maintains the property well, and communicates appropriately, that stability has value. Retaining strong tenants often reduces overall risk and long-term expenses. Communication plays a huge role here. Providing proper written notice early, maintaining a professional tone, and explaining that operational costs have increased can go a long way. Most tenants understand that expenses rise over time. What tends to create conflict is surprise or abrupt communication. Approach it as a business conversation, because that's exactly what it is. It's also important to make sure your rent increase is supported by market data. Reviewing comparable properties in your area helps you justify the adjustment and ensures you're staying competitive. At the end of the day, increasing rent in Alberta is absolutely possible. But it's not just a legal decision, it's a business decision. The goal is not simply to raise the number. The goal is stable, long-term profitability while protecting your investment and maintaining professional landlord-tenant relationships. When handled correctly, you can adjust to rising costs while keeping strong tenants and minimizing risk. If you're unsure how to structure a rent increase properly or want to review your rental property's positioning in the current market, I'm always happy to have that conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe for more real estate tips and information.